A neighborhood wide what? Oh, neighborhood wise. We're in Sylmar. We're in Sylmar. We're with the rest of the media as well. I need to probably try and stop them now because of weather. Okay, they're going to conduct the stop. There we go. This is now a pursuit. This is now a pursuit, assignment desk. He is not yielding. Go ahead, go ahead. Copy. Into OAT, back arrow 087. 087, 087 into OAT on 3 minus. Assignment desk, aware, TOC is redialing us. Code 37, code 37. Stolen vehicle, that's what we got.
Actually, we were hearing this on LAPD West Valley Division, so I think they've been with this one for a long time, maybe off of the 118 freeway, and they were following this vehicle for a really long time. They had to wait to get some more personnel in place. You can see a couple of black and whites in the shot right now, so it was a really long following. They lit the vehicle up, decided not to pull over. He briefly had his blinker on, but now we're getting kind of some high speeds as we're northbound on the 5, headed towards the Santa Clarita. This is an allegedly stolen, looks like a Chevy pickup truck here right now. Unclear how many people are in the vehicle, but we're northbound on the 5 now into the Newhall Pass, Jeff and Susie.
So Desmond, at what point in time do you think CHP will also be involved? Because this is going, as you mentioned, northbound on the 5. This is a driver that's going, weaving through the traffic here. At what point in time does CHP get involved, do you think, Des?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's going to be up to LAPD if they want to get a CHP involved. They may want to stick with this. If it gets dangerous, they may want to try to hand it off to a CHP. It really is all kind of depends on the watch commander's mood right now. Now, I think I saw something might have gotten thrown out of that vehicle as I was widening out to see how many units were behind it. I saw some sparks come from not far from that vehicle, and it looked like he was going to try to pull a last-second lane change to the north 5. But we're actually going north 14, and you know what? I just heard them say they're going to cancel the pursuit because I think this one is maybe just getting a little bit too dangerous. You can see the speeds now up over 100 miles an hour on this northbound 5 on the right side of the road. So they just said they're going to cancel the pursuit, and it's unclear if they're even going to try to get CHP involved.
Yeah, you know, oftentimes agencies will do that just because, as Desmond was talking about, the pursuit can get so dangerous. What they're doing every time they actually chase someone is weighing all the different factors. It's the balance test, they call it. Is it safe enough? Are we going to put the public's, you know, are we going to risk the public's lives by doing this? Is someone else in the public going to be hurt by this, affected by this? So what they're doing is they're saying, you know what, let's just not do this time. They have the license plate number, obviously. They're probably talking to the person who the car belonged to. If they had made contact with that person, asking them what kind of situation it was. Was it a carjacking situation? Was the car just stolen off the street? It's unclear right now. And how many people are inside this car? So we still don't know, but certainly the police agency is saying, you know what, this one might be a little too dangerous.
It's maybe having a desired effect that police want, although he is driving a little erratic. He did get off the highway. It appears to be Newhall Avenue in Santa Clarita at this time, and the driver doing a pretty aggressive U-turn, going through stoplights there, not really slowing down. A lot of stuff in the back of this pickup truck. And Des, do we have law enforcement overhead? A lot of times when they have a following and then they just bust it down from that pursuit, they will keep a chopper overhead Is there anybody overhead to watch
no
this?
chopper.
No chopper? Just you?
There was a chopper, Jeff. We saw a spotlight there briefly, but
Yeah.
I think they've even backed off as well. And we saw as we got off the freeway, it looked like LAPD got off the freeway with them, but they are not continuing after this driver. So I think they're going to let this one go, and we might be headed. It looks like we might be headed into a mobile home park or some kind of development. Let's see
Apartment building,
what the driver decides to do. We may as well follow this for a bit and see if they're going to be getting away or parking the vehicle. But we're at a new, it looks like a mobile home park off of Newhall Avenue off the 14 side of Santa Clarita.
You know, a lot of times this will happen. They might have the information that they need, Susie. You know, whether it's the license plate, maybe they have more information as to who this person is and where they live, and they might be able to pick this person up at a later date. He's parking this truck here. Let's see if we can get a visual. He is walking. If we could drop the banner for just a second, he did walk out from that vehicle.
And it looked like there was another person inside the on the passenger side getting out as well too. So there might have been multiple people inside this car. It was unclear at the point when we were actually when police were chasing. But is that them right there?
They look like young men, Des. Can you hear us, Des?
Yeah, sorry, Jeff and Susie, having some reception problems here, but here you go. These are the two folks that were inside the car. They got out of this apartment complex, and they got out and started running. And again, no police on this one right now. I'm thinking that maybe if the vehicle was not taken under violent means or what, and this was, you know, just a property crime, that they decided they didn't want to get involved. But these folks are, you know, still out here acting like they're running for their life, even though the police are not out here with them. Again, just off of Newhall Avenue. These two suspects, I don't even hear LAPD talking about this. I widen out and show you there's no law enforcement presence. So unfortunately, the folks wanted for this looks like they're likely to get away right now.
A little bit.
Looks like
this could be very dangerous.
It looks like a male and a female.
Oh, this could be very dangerous if they're trying. We've seen this before where they tried to, you know, find an open window or an unlocked door. They could get inside of an apartment.
And we don't know if they're armed or not either.
Yeah, we don't know much about this, but obviously desperate people trying to find a way to hide, not successfully yet, as it seems like they've come all the way around that apartment complex and kind of just trying to figure out what they're doing, yet they're still running. But these are suspects wanted for stealing a pickup truck. LAPD was in pursuit, and Susie, they called off that pursuit when they exited the northbound 5 into Santa Clarita.
That's right. They were northbound on the 5, then northbound on the 14 when they exited off Newhall Avenue in Santa Clarita. Again, this was the driver of a stolen vehicle, a stolen Chevy pickup. The driver, and it looked like, it appeared from our shot, it was a passenger who got out, and now they're running sort of aimlessly in this apartment complex. Again, we don't know if they're armed or not. Looks like they're talking to somebody. They're unclear if they know someone here who lives inside this apartment complex, or this is just a random person who's maybe talking to them. But you never know. You know, oftentimes we see these suspects go into places where they actually know, maybe a friend's house, maybe they stopped here because they knew they could hole up somewhere where they could get away from police.
Yeah, one person is wearing a white pair of shorts, the other one a black hoodie, and they're kind of starting to mingle with residents of this apartment complex. This was off of Newhall Drive, if I recall, from Santa Clarita, and got into this very large apartment complex, and they did ditch that pickup truck. It was a dark, full-size pickup truck. I wonder if this might be law enforcement here, but we do know LAPD was pursuing them all the way up northbound 5. They exited just shortly after they called that pursuit off and went to not even a following, but just called it off completely and just bailed. And as we understand, the law enforcement helicopter overhead took off as well. So you got to think, Susie, maybe these are not necessarily dangerous individuals. They're people that they may know, have a history of, and may know where they live and might try to pick them up, you know, tomorrow or later tonight.
Sure.
We're just kind of guessing because we really don't know, but that's kind of one of the situations that could have happened as we continue to follow these two suspects through this apartment complex as they continue to just wander around.
Yeah, and also speculation, but you wonder why they were running around even though there were no police anywhere near them, both on the ground nor in the air. But my guess is, they could hear the blades of the chopper, and they could see that, maybe someone is still overhead and could possibly have an eye on them, and maybe that's why they kept running away. But it looks like now they're going into a different area of the neighborhood. I think this is across the street from where that apartment complex was.
Yeah, we don't have our map
Yeah, Jeff
up,
and Susie.
Go ahead, Des.
Let me put the map up here for you guys and show you Valle del Oro, Costa Bravo is the area now that we're looking at. They crossed the street. They were mingling with a couple of other folks there, exchanging some words. Not sure, if they were acquainted with them or not, but you can still see them kind of running here around this other big apartment complex across the street. There's just really, it's lots of places to hide around here. You've got big carports and awnings, and these are really big campuses, these apartment complexes. There you can see darting underneath that awning. It's going to be really hard to see them from there. It was definitely the strategy to get out of the view.
We're going to have to let you go
here in the sky, Jeff and Susie.
Okay, Des, we're going to have to let you go. We'll get to sports, and we'll continue following up on this vehicle pursuit of 2 suspects coming up on CBS 2 News at 11.
Here's Jamie Maggio.
You're watching Sports Central on KCAL 9, sponsored by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa.
We're doing sports, and at long last, the Lombardi Trophy is coming back to LA. I'm Jamie Maggio. Well, welcome into a Monday edition of Sports Central. Last night, the Rams beat the Bengals 23-20 to win Super Bowl 56. It's the second Super Bowl victory in the history of the franchise, and their first in Los Angeles. The Rams went all in, trading away future draft picks to bring in key veterans for a title run, and their bet certainly paid off. After coming up short 3 seasons ago, Sean McVay got the job done to become the youngest coach to win a Super Bowl.
The leadership, the selflessness, I thought our
Well, it appears these two are now hiding out near one of these carports, still trying to figure out where they ran off to. We lost track of them as they were running through the buildings, past one of the pools, swimming pools in this development, and then ended up a little bit closer towards the edge of the development. Somewhere along here is where we think they may be hiding out. What we don't see, though, is still any sign of police, whether it be Sheriff's Department or LAPD. We're just not seeing any sign of law enforcement yet, which tells me they may be, go ahead. Okay, copy. By the Shell gas station. All right. Copy. In any event, there's our first sign of law enforcement, a couple of other units pulling in now, but it does look like these two may have been able to evade police at the end of the day, unless they can get a beat on these two. You saw that Night Sun a minute ago. LAPD does now finally have an airship overhead, and they are using that Night Sun. As we saw them run through these apartment buildings, it appears that they are now hiding out somewhere in this general vicinity. So they dumped the stolen vehicle.